principles into their security frameworks. Civil society organizations, particularly women's grassroots groups, play a critical role in monitoring implementation, advocating for accountability, and delivering services at the community level. Despite its normative strength, the WPS agenda faces significant challenges. Implementation gaps remain large, funding for women-led peace initiatives is limited, and women human rights defenders continue to face threats and reprisals. Critics argue that the agenda is sometimes reduced to a checkbox exercise, focusing on numerical representation rather than transformative change. There are also calls to broaden the WPS framework to better address intersecting forms of inequality, including race, class, disability, age, and sexual orientation. Additionally, feminist scholars and activists caution against the militarization of the agenda, warning that integrating women into security institutions without questioning militarism itself may reinforce existing power structures. The Women, Peace and Security agenda represents a profound shift in how peace and security are understood and pursued. It asserts that sustainable peace is not possible without gender equality and that women's rights, leadership, and protection are central, not peripheral, to global security. While significant progress has been made in establishing international norms and legal frameworks, the challenge now lies in translating commitments into concrete, inclusive, and transformative action. Ultimately, the WPS agenda is not only about adding women to existing systems, but about reshaping those systems to better reflect the realities of conflict and the needs of all people. Its success depends on political will, adequate resources, and continued advocacy to ensure that women's voices are heard where decisions about war and peace are made.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on eVibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Welcome back. Now, to help us unpack these realities and explore what meaningful change looks like, we're joined by Dr. Brenda Akanisi. She is the Young Doctors Forum Coordinator, Medical Women Association of Nigeria, ENUGU State. She's here to share her thoughts on this topic. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're such a sweet and lively lady. I'm so happy that you came on this program, honestly.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, and a lot of people will be wondering, this one that a medical doctor is coming to talk about, peace and security. But I mean, like,
it's part of, okay, let me also say this. I'm a lifestyle medicine physician, and part of our 6 pillars, one of our 6 pillars is stress management. So of course, when you have insecurity, that's part of stress. Do you understand? So I think having a doctor to talk about it is not completely off. But we can probably bring some health perspective towards the whole issue.
Yes. And of course, I mean, you're a woman, so at least you can resonate with how it feels to be a woman in, an area that is quite conflict and, violence prone. So let's get into the conversation of today. I can't wait to start. Okay, let's talk about peace and security. Now, when you hear peace and security, like, what does that mean to you, like in the context and in the, the environment that you find yourself?
Okay, so currently, if you're in Nigeria, we do know there's a lot of insecurity challenges. So I would define it not in context to just the current situation, but just generally like security and peace. So when somebody is secure, it means you feel safe. It means like, and when you're safe, that means you're at peace, right? And that peace means what? Tranquility, you're calm, and that means you're able to function better. So let me put it this way. Let's say you come into the clinic to see me, and I'm all edgy and anxious and all that. You will believe within you that I can't give you the best service. True or false?
Of course.
So that means I need a level of security around me and a level of peace, calmness around me to be able to bring out the best version of me. So regardless of your gender, everybody needs security. Everybody needs that level of calmness to be able to function and bring out their best. So I know we're going to focus on women on this episode, but I just know insecurity is something that affects. So when somebody doesn't feel safe, right, that means you're now insecure. Because I just want us to know these terminologies because we'll be using it interchangeably. And another thing also, we also want to say, okay, why are we talking about women? Because they're part of the vulnerable group. And you say, but not just women, children as well, the elderly people. So when we say vulnerable group, we're talking about women, children, and the elderly ones, right? So I think by the time you ask me more questions, we'll dive into
Yeah, I was actually getting to ask you about women, because when we talk about women, with regards to peace and security,
yes.
I mean, it's going to be like, where do women come into the equation of peace and security? So, I mean, in your opinion, like, where do you see women in this conversation?
Okay, I see us in like two aspects, right? So the first aspect is security as it pertains our environment, right? So now, within our environment, women are prone to more domestic violence. So we're talking about intimate partner violence. We're talking about physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse. Because let's say when a woman gets married, her husband can decide to say, you don't have to work. You're not going to work. And she has no say in the matter because we're taught to just be submissive. Rarely would you see a woman telling her husband, don't work, and he will listen to that. So the minute she obeys that instruction, she's now left in an economically insecurity position. Now, the second one, besides the domestic violence, we'll now move on to sexual harassment and sexual assault, right? And women are more prone to it. So we're talking about, let's say, harassment in the workplace. Most of the time, it is women that are being harassed constantly, which now makes them feel very insecure. So when they're coming to work, they're looking over their shoulders like, okay, who's going to harass me today? Who's not going to harass me today? So of course, she's not going to, bring her best foot forward. Another thing, because we're living in the digital space, another major concern is cyberbullying and cyber attack. And I want to emphasize on this because it's affecting the younger ones. So we're talking about our adolescent females. Because at this phase, they're very conscious of their looks. They're beginning to develop their sexual organs and all. And these kids tend to come online to maybe, do content creation and all. And if she doesn't have a sound mental mind or a sound self-esteem, it can easily be affected. And she can now feel insecure about herself. Like somebody may drop a comment, see your face, see these people where they here. Oh, you're not on point. Your outfit is not on point. And little comments like that can get to her over time. And whether or not it translates to a lot of the cosmetic surgery we see nowadays is another topic for discussion. But you can just see how this affects our gender just within our home and the community. Now, if you want to now talk about insecurity on the general perspective, we'll talk about, now this is the main issue that is happening.
Yes.
So we want to talk about insurgents, we want to talk about terrorism, we want to talk about kidnapping, and you also have like ethnic violence, we have religious violence. So they also talk about communal violence. They will also have organized crime, that's where you have the theft, the armed robbery and all that. Now, if a woman is found in the midst of any of this violence, because like I said earlier, she's part of the vulnerable group, she is not equipped to be able to defend herself. Now, compared to our male counterparts, are we weaker physically? Yes. So part of the discussion during the show will also be, okay, how can you equip these women? Now they'll know, okay, these are the challenges they face. Okay, how can you equip these women to be like, okay, you're in an environment whereby you're maybe like, what's the word now? A species that may be targeted. So how do we prepare you for the real world out there, right? And now if you want to come and say men are affected, let's say in terms of the insurgents and all that, if let's say there's a war that happens, who is going to fight for us? Now we do have women who are in the armed forces and stuff like that, but of course you cannot compare the ratio. So of course we have more of our men going to the battlefield. So now the mortality, which is the death rate, may be high among that gender, the male. But now if you want to look at the wider effect, is more among women. Because let's say now her husband goes to war, he doesn't come back. She's left to deal with the economic implication of that. She's left to deal with the loneliness of that. Let's say she has 6 children. So imagine her being a single mother to 6 children. So you can imagine the economic implication on her, the burden, the emotional burden, psychological burden, financial burden, to be able to raise those 6 children on her own, right? Now, is she prone to sexual assault? Most likely, because she may want to find ways of how she can fend for her kids and stuff like that. So if you go to most of the war-torn areas, that is why you see the incidence of sexual assault or violence being much higher.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody to protect these women, because maybe their husbands have gone out to defend the country and they're left behind unprotected. And now some males see that and take advantage of that and want to now, impose themselves on these women. Sometimes the women give in because they're like, okay, at least I can get some benefits out of it, which is not the best. But I just want us to see this on a bigger perspective, like, see, our gender needs to be properly informed and educated about the threats that we face when there's social unrest, and we need to be more giving more tips on how to cope with it. So that is why I'll say always make sure you're economically empowered, because you don't know tomorrow. Your husband may be the breadwinner and he goes out there and he doesn't come back. Yeah. But if you know you're financially capable, there's some things that won't be of concern to you. Yes, the emotional aspect will be there. Okay, you're missing your partner, which you do life together with, but at least you know your children are set for the future because you hold your own, you hold ground. You
exactly. You get before we go to, because you're already giving one of the solutions or one of the things that can make it better. But now you've spoken about, I love that you touched on, the other aspect that most people won't think about when it comes to peace and security. Like you mentioned the whole cyber bullying thing and some other aspects. But then let's look at the health, because you're a doctor, so that's a no-brainer. I would like you to, what would you say are also, what's the medical aspect of all of this when it comes to like the health, sanitation, the environment, and particularly for young girls, adolescents, people who are still growing and trying to get used to their bodies and things like that?
Okay, so when we come, so basically, like, it was the impact of this insecurity on us generally, but in specifically for women. Now, as I was driving down here, a thought just came to my head. I said, sometimes if these women who are prone to, who live in the violent prone area, and let's say you have to run away, there's an attack on your community and you have to quickly, run. And let's say that is the time of your monthly cycle. Just imagine you're running somewhere, the last thing you want to think of is picking menstrual, products to keep yourself clean and all that. And you're just wondering, how would they cope? When this is something that is a physiological thing that has to occur. So just think of the hygiene during that period is not maximum at all, because normally during menstrual flow, we tell people have your bath twice, make sure you change your pad every 4 hours. How can you be telling that kind of person in that place that you should be changing it? Do you get? And now the reason why we'll tell you to maintain that good menstrual hygiene is because of the risk of infection. So that means, one, she's already exposed towards getting an infection just by being female. There's nothing has even happened though. Now another aspect of her getting infection is when I talk about the sexual assault. So let's say now somebody who attacks her has an STI, and guess what? She's going to get it. Now let's say that assault leads to or let me say sexual abuse leads to unwanted pregnancy. What do you think she's going to do to that pregnancy? Your guess is as good as mine. She probably may keep it or may not keep it. Now, let's say if it was an adolescent and underage that was sexually abused. We also talk about the complication relating to the pregnancy, because she's underage, complication relating to the birth of the child. Now, in an area that is prone to, insecurity, do you think she'll be going for antenatal checkup? Let's just say this is normal pregnancy. We should be going for antenatal checkup. The fear myself will not even make you leave your house, say you want to go to a clinic to go and get any help. So that's why people should see the brother. The other day, there was a webinar I was on, and he was talking about insurance. And one of the coordinators for one of the northern states said, we can't really measure insurance in my state because nobody is going to the hospital. It's only when it's that critical or that bad that people say, nobody can manage it in the house, because you're scared of, if you come out of your house, will I be attacked, will I be taken and all. So you can see, so that is some of the physical impacts it can have, right? And that's besides the normal physical harm, maybe from attack, if somebody hits you with any object, and you sustain an injury, and if that injury is not managed properly, you can bleed, to death, or the wound can get infected and stuff like that. Now, another big one that I want to dwell on is the mental impact. Because it's so broad. Now, let's say there's insecurity. Number one thing is to feel anxious and feel fear. Let me give you a typical example. One of my friends was meant to go to her village this period. I think her parents told her to come over. They were meant to do her family stuff. And she told me she wasn't going to go. And I asked her why. She said, no, her mind is not accepting this. You and I both know why her mind wasn't accepting it.
Of course.
Fear. Anxiety. This is somebody that I'm sure she would have been excited to go see her parents and all, but the fear alone kept her confined to her house. Funny enough, she was even meant to go to her husband's village. I think she told her husband, please visit. I'm not going anywhere. Please, let's just stay in her house. So I'm just trying to say the anxiety it builds, the fear it builds, right? Before you know it, it leads to depression. Because you start getting paranoid. You're finicky. So anything you see seems like a threat to you. You start getting obnoxious for no reason. Now, let's say if you've actually encountered the trauma of the insecurity, let's say you saw it firsthand. So you're going to have post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, this post-traumatic disorder can be two ways. Let's say you're married to a man who is a security personnel who goes maybe into a war zone or whatever, and he comes back. He's going to forever live with that trauma. And before you know it, he might take out some of those on you. So as a woman, you have to still be his safe place, but yet you're still dealing with the battles that he brought back unknowingly, right? Now that is you just being a wife. Now you personally experiencing it, you will also have your trauma that comes with it, because you saw somebody being maltreated or stuff like that. You will feel it, right? Now, before you know it, you're not prone to use substance because you want to numb the pain, you want to max it, you want to deal with it. So you see she becomes an alcoholic. If you have more money to afford the bigger things that can make you hallucinate and forget your sorrow, you go into that. And the minute you go into such substance and that gives you temporary pleasure, before you know it, it's difficult for you to come out of it. And that's, we'll now have another issue. Yeah, because with drug abuse comes a lot of health challenge. That's another journey on its own. Yeah. And before you know it, the person will start self-harming. Suicidal thoughts will set in. So you probably see them trying to hurt themselves and stuff like that, either with a blade or a knife, when they feel it's just unbearable. Because the truth about it is sometimes with the hallucination, you start hearing voices telling you, oh, you're worthless, you don't feel, you're not, what are you doing in this life? What are you contributing? Before you know it, it leads to suicide. And if the first attempt doesn't work, second attempt, third attempt, the person dies, and at the end of the day, so something that just could have been curbed, like insecurity, has led to all these, and we've now gotten to the point of death. So it's not something that I think people should take lightly. And when we talk about death, besides the death form, maybe the side effects of the insecurity, now the insecurity, and let's say somebody loses their life in the process, right? I tell people, like, you can check the internet and see the statistics of insecurity currently in Nigeria. I don't want to personally state it. But then, to you, let's say people in the media space is a number. You come and give figures, oh, this set of people who died, this number of people who died is a number. You're just reading numbers. But I say to somebody, that was a father. To somebody, that was a mother. To somebody, that was a sister. That was a mentor, that was a mentee. To somebody, that was just a human being. So let's not just, so sometimes people say, but it's just 9 people now, it's just 10 people. No, to you, it's just a figure. But to somebody, that was their all, that was their breadwinner, that was their beginning. And you just take that life away and it means nothing. And we just carry on our business like, it didn't affect me, so let's just keep reading the numbers. So I think there should be a level of thoughtfulness and intentionality that we need to sit down sometimes and ask ourselves, how can we help in our own little way to bring about a change with the whole insecurity issues currently happening in Nigeria?
Now, I'm going to ask you about that. But then, speaking of this medical aspect, now we know that in all these prone areas, like now in Nigeria, we have a lot of IDP camps.
Yes.
And most of these IDP camps, I believe, have some form of first aid group or some like medical health team, whatever. How do you see this impacting? Because I sometimes I wonder how the health team, they're even able to deliver services to the people in the IDP camps, seeing just the environment and how the place is looking like. So what would you say about, or do you think those ones are adequate enough to even take care of, the people that are there?
Okay, in terms of health care, let me say health personnel now. There's a shortage because of our Jackpa.
Yeah.
So, besides the IDP, normal hospital, there's shortage. Not to talk of even the IDP. And now, so you can imagine the incentive that the doctor will leave the comfort of city, the comfort of AC blasting him or her, and now go to IDP. And so that's why you see a lot of foreign aids and all that. Now, of course, incentive propels people to do stuff. So somebody, let's say if you're paying somebody maybe 100,000 in a normal teaching hospital setting, and you're willing to pay the person maybe 200 if he goes to IDP. Oh yes, the person is going to move because of the money. Because he say, okay, you know what? Let me just do this for 6 months, gather money, and do maybe even gather the money to Jackpa. You never.
That's another angle to it.
But besides the incentive, there are also some people who personally like to practice in such places. I was discussing with a male colleague. He trained in psychiatry, and he said to me that he always wanted to work in a rural place, like, the interior of the villages. And I'm like, guy, what's the problem? He said he has always been his passion. He just feels that's where his services is needed. So you can see this kind of person, incentive or no incentive, if the opportunity presents himself, he's willing to go there. Now, there's some people who just naturally have that personality of empathy and concern, and the money is not the motivating factor. They just want to go there and bring about a change and be like, okay, these people need services. I'm going to go there and provide services to them. But I will just say this, as the health personnel are going there to provide services, please, they should, I don't want to sound a bit selfish, just protecting my own, will I say, colleagues, but I'll just say there should be a level of, to keep them safe. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Keep them safe, because these people have the option of staying in a place that is comfortable, but they choose to go there and bring about healthcare in those camps. Because when you're in the camp, the mosquito is not going to fly and say, it's camp, we're not going to bite these people. You understand? The mosquito that is biting somebody in the camp is still the mosquito that is biting somebody outside the camp. So are they going to be like diseases like malaria and stuff like that, maybe gastroenteritis from the poor hygiene around? Do you get? Also, there's going to be issues like malnutrition, because how much food is each person getting in the ID? Because you're at the mercy of donation. You don't have the ability to maybe plant your own food and stuff like that. So you're at the mercy of the contribution people make to be able to feed. So all those issues, we know that they need medical attention. So that is why medical personnel will still be on ground. But I'll just say, as they're on ground, to make sure they give care, they should be kept safe while doing that.
Exactly. Now, you spoke about, the mental aspect of it. And that is one aspect that generally as a country, I think we don't really take that part seriously.
Yeah.
The part of, the anxiety, stress. I think you mentioned stress earlier on. And most people don't take it seriously. Why do you think that it's so much so overlooked to the point where it's not really seen as a big deal, even when we're not in, conflict-prone areas,
okay.
or when you've experienced such conflict and maybe you're out of that place? It doesn't seem like it's taken quite seriously. Why is it so?
I would say it's a cultural issue. It's a cultural factor, because let me put it this way. Let's say you come and tell somebody you're depressed. They'll say, what's wrong with you? My friend, will you get yourself together? Or when you say you're depressed, they'll say, I mean, say hunger never slap you. You get, so yes. in our environment, we feel like you shouldn't be depressed. When you're depressed, that means you're jobless. You don't have anything to do. That's why you're depressed, you get. But things are changing, if I'm going to be honest, because I did work in a psychiatric hospital for a year, and things are changing. And the knowledge is increasing. People are more knowledgeable about, okay, there's mental health challenge. Don't wait till the person starts tearing the clothes. That's where, before is when the person tears the clothes, this is mental problem. No. But people don't understand when you're anxious, that's a mental challenge. Mild depression, because depression is classified into like 3, so you have the mild, moderate, and severe. So when it's really severe, when it's really bad, that's when you start having manic episodes and the person starts tearing the cloth and just looking unkept. But people don't understand that when somebody, let's say, let me put it this way, some women have, after giving birth, they feel low mood. Sometimes they don't want to pick up their child. They feel oh, this child is the cause of my problem and all that. Some people say, come and, maybe you're telling some people, like, let's say your mother figures, like, this is the problem. Some people tell you, you should be thankful to God now. You're so ungrateful. God has blessed you and all that. But she can't help it. People don't understand that the way you have hypertension, the way you have diabetes, mental illness is as real as that. But because it's not something you can measure, like with blood pressure, you can use your SFIG and it's high. Sugar, you can use glucometer and it's high. But mental illness, because it's not something we can see plainly, except maybe an expert assesses you, then he now says, no, there's an underlying issue here. So because we don't see, we think, oh, this person is just being extra or whatever. I would just say culture made us not to talk about it, but thankfully, a lot of people are dropping that ideology behind, and people are beginning to realize, okay, see their challenges and you can seek help. And let me tell you, sometimes when I have some clients and they come to the hospital and they're complaining about all these symptoms and stuff like that, most of the time it's just a mental challenge. We've run all the tests, everything is good. What I just do, sometimes I Google, I type in what I think is wrong with them, and I show them, I say, when you go home, just read it. Sometimes in the clinic, some of them will open and read it, and you can see this like, yeah, I have everything. Like people who have anxiety disorder, so they just look at it like, I have everything. Because another thing with anxiety disorder, sometimes when you have an acute, like a panic attack, you think it's actually a heart attack. So the symptoms are similar. So sometimes they will actually think, oh no, doctor, there's actually a problem, but you've run all the tests. Then when they now realize, okay, this is a mental challenge, and you now institute the right therapy, you see them getting better. And it's such a beautiful thing for them to come back, and you see them looking brighter and happier, healthier, because they got the right management, not because they were hiding under the cultural aspect or religious aspect. Because there's some people who feel like, okay, no, if I say it, do you understand what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I get that.
You get. But for me, I'm a Christian. I say it boldly. I tell people this. There's a reason why you need to name something. When you name it, you can shame it and we can address it. You living in the night is not going to make it go away. You saying it's not there, it's not going to the thing will now carry his leg and bag and say, okay, bye-bye you. Yeah. When you address it, when you come and tell us the symptoms, and we can say, okay, this is what most likely it is, we'll run some tests, we can prove it, then we know how to manage it. And guess what? You have a name to take it to God in prayer, say, God, this is the thing they said, and you can name it. So when you're coming back to give that testimony, you can say, I had this and I was cured from this. Do you get? So I think let's not let environments play a huge role in denying us access to good health.
Right, so now let's talk about the place of women when it comes to actually handling these issues. Okay. Now, how would you say that women, we talk so much about, inclusion.
Yeah.
But in issues or in rooms where conversations around peace and security are, and women are usually underrepresented, and we know our problem. So we know how to best present our problem. Why do you think we still have that lacuna?
You know, I'm laughing because I'm just laughing because I'm like, they haven't even allowed us in some rooms where it's health issue that affect us. And it's still the opposite gender talking about, is it security? They want to let you inside the meeting talk about it. So, of course, now it's, will I say, in all fairness, I would say more doors are opening for women to enter the room to talk about things, right? More doors. Now, we also cannot be in denial that men are in the helm of affairs. So most of the, will I say, positions are handled by men. But I would say conversations like this brings awareness, like, okay, you know what, the next meeting we have, let's bring some women into the room, let's get their perspective, because we may not be seeing things through their eyes. Do you get? So that is the whole point of media, to sensitize people, sensitize the public, people who are decision makers, policy makers, to say, you know what, there's a team of 15 people and they're all men. No, why? Take out some men. Take 5 men out, bring 5 women inside so that we can see. So I don't even believe, besides the security and peace talk, in every conversation, always make sure women are represented, because they bring a different perspective, they bring a different side to things, because the way insecurity affects a man will be different from the way it affects me. A man, despite the fact I know there's an issue, there's an insecurity threat outside, he will brave it, because nature has taught him to be the man, to be a protector. He will brave it, but his head is calculative. Like, okay, this happened. Now he has the physical strength to fight off whatever he may encounter on the way. Now a woman is not trained like that from, you know, from the environment to like be more proactive when it comes to responding to, you know, security threats and all that. So she stays behind the man. I'm sure even if you watch some movies, when there's a sound,
of course,
she'll just go and hide behind the man. You get?
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to say right now, we can bring a different perspective and say, in as much as we hide behind the man, but there's some things we can see at his back that he's not seeing. So that's what I'm saying. So if you want to make sure, as he's walking in front, she's manning the back. So you can see, for us to make sure the whole environment is secure, we need somebody to look in front and somebody to look at the back. So women should be allowed to come into the room and discuss about security and peace matters.
Yeah, so you were mentioning earlier about being economically independent as one of the ways to, you know, help women, particularly in situations like this.
Yeah.
Do you think that there are other things that can be done to like help the situation and just to prepare women? Because I mean, you never can tell when your location could be a conflict-prone area.
So I would say now, media, people should listen attentively. So good thing this conversation, you know, it's a bit funny to have this conversation at the beginning of the year, but maybe it's something that, see, we cannot deny this thing is happening, so let's stop. You know how the ostrich, you put his head inside the ground and say, because I cannot say anything else is happening. No, we need to get past that phase and realize, see, something happening. We need to stick out that neck there. In fact, like an ostrich, stretch it further to see beyond. So what I'll say is this: educate women about security threats, security challenges, and how to curb it. So I would say, when women have gatherings, do you understand? Like, you know, in church, women have gatherings, and almost also association have the women wing of that association. Like, I represent the medical women, do you understand? That's why we have a bigger, you know, medical body. I would say when they have gatherings like that, a security personnel can come and educate them on security measures to take, security tips they can, you know, deploy. If it means you teaching somebody how do you defend yourself, even just a one-on-one face-off with somebody who wants to try to take advantage of you sexually, how do you protect yourself? Do you understand? Is there, let's say, if you're going to do a long, maybe out-of-state travel, is there a way you should dress in case there's any incident? So I would just like to say, people who are in the security agency should be able to educate the public better and go into groups. So it's not just one thing to come and say on TV, maybe somebody, the PRO of one of the agencies will come and talk one thing. No, go to some of their meetings, engage them, let them ask you questions, demonstrate some things to them so that they can learn. And there's something about when you feel, there's something knowledge does to you. I don't know if you know it. There's a way you know something, you just feel empowered. I see that sometimes some of the clients who see, let's say you're telling somebody, okay, hypertension, this is why you take these drugs and all that. By the time the person understands the classes of drugs you're giving the person and how it works, there's something about the knowledge that just made the person, okay, that means I can manage this thing. Then he goes and knows how to take the medication. So the same way with information, when you equip these people on, these are security tips, you can take security measures, then they become more equipped. Now also, I also say to curb this thing, get the youths employed. Because whoever is committing these crimes are not it's flesh.
Yeah, they're not ghosts.
Do you understand? There is no way you're gainfully employed. Somebody wants to distract you, you will go the other way. It's when you wake up in the morning, you don't have scope for that day. Somebody come and say, let's go and cause wahala, you will move with the person. But if you have where you're going to knock suit, look fresh and go, and even if it's to take selfie and say hashtag work for the day I've started, you get, even if you're going one place to go and clock him, you get, you will look forward to that. So engage the youth. So the education comes in educating people on security tips, women, then also making sure people get educated to be able to secure good jobs. So that, in my own little way, then also the security agencies equip them. There's a lot of technology right now, so equip them so that they go there, defend the country, and they defend the country with so much backing that they know, like, you know what, we have will I say, the brain power, and now we're not getting the physical backup, which is improved technology, able to help us protect the citizens and the country as a whole. And I think this week was Armed Forces Remembrance Day. So shout out to all the people who protect us daily, who go out there. Because it's not easy. Sometimes I don't know if you wonder when you see checkpoints and you ask yourself, people have been standing under this one for how long? But guess what? When you pass those checkpoints, mentally you feel safe. So we also need to appreciate those men who stand there daily. So I'm just trying to say, the fact that they are there makes you feel, okay, I feel waka pass. You get. So I'm just trying to say, we as a whole, community, government, everybody, we can do better to just improve the security issues in the country.
Yeah. Now, speaking of acknowledging the military and the people that stand on the road, what about in communities, of course? Do you think that women in their own little way, in all these communities, do you think that they also contribute to peace or trying to keep some form of safety in those communities?
Yes. Yes, I'm saying that with so much yes. Like, yes, when you say put exclamation mark, like 3 points, one, two,
just for emphasis. Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying yes, let's say if you have a communal clash, or let's say religious issues or ethnic issues, right? Every man comes from a home. Either he respects his mother, he respects his wife, or for the sake of his daughter. So you can see I'm just listing the female species he has in his household.
Yes.
And imagine, let's say he wants to go to the neighboring village and want to cause some buhaha, and his daughter comes and pulls his cloth and says, "Daddy, can't we find peace? Is there any?" If he has a soft for the daughter, he will rethink it. If he has a soft for his mother who tells him, my son, is it necessary to go to this village, and can't you men gather and see how a peace can be reached? Maybe you are disputing about a land or something. So I tell people, there is one person a man listens to. There's one female a man listens to his life. Either his mother or his wife. There's just that one person. And imagine if that person talks to him intently. So let's say now Mr. A is being spoken to by his mother or wife. Mr. B is being spoken to. And they come out together and say, you know what, these women are telling us, let's seek peace. Because men, their ego, they want to come and do, they want to do, they own the jungle, lions. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. So you need that subtle side to calm them down and say, you know what, we know you can fight. We know, you're kings, you're the Odogus, and you can go there and win. But at this point in time, we need our chalugoness to come out. I think that's a good one. We need the fear of their chalugoness to come out with the softness and say, not everything has to be about war. Even Queen Esther in the Bible, what did she do? Did she bring about peace?
She did.
You get? So I'm just trying to tell, as women, we have the power. But how do we use it? Not you go and instigate your husband. Hey, that village, yes, you people should go there. Maybe I was in the farm the other day, they came to attack me. So I'm just trying to say there's a way to use your soft voice behind closed doors, and you can bring about a change. So yes, I do strongly believe that women, when it has to do with communal issues, ethnical issues, religious issues, so even let's say religious issues, conflicts we have, and let's say we're not stirring things up. Let's say, we have two major religions in the country, and one factor is like, let's not repay hate with hate. Let's keep showing love. The other time, the opposite, and let's say I'm with a woman from the opposite faith, and maybe say we're sitting and having a conversation. Sometimes you bond over things that are feminine. We bond over maybe shopping, buying stuff, buying clothes or buying fabrics, and just little conversations. You now realize, okay, this person is not so different from me. So in that way, let's say tomorrow now, husband wants to harm, somebody, she'll be like, is it necessary? So in that way, she's dousing the violence that could have stirred up if there was nobody to come and put, they said the quiet, what the proverb says something, the quiet was, it drives out wrath or something like that. Yeah, so when you speak softly and quietly, it douses the situation. So yes, women, my gender.
I think you should speak to. I think now you should speak to women in particular.
So I would say my gender, we have a role to bring about to develop an environment for more peace talks to be had. So don't go behind and instigate. I would say, as the mothers we have the heart to nurture. That's something that we have in us naturally. So let's keep nurturing peace in anywhere we find ourselves in. I think that's what I want to say.
Well, Dr. Bren, I think that's a good way to close this conversation. Actually, I'm sure you didn't know that the time has gone. But yeah, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. I love hearing your perspective. It's so refreshing to hear, and you're just so lively about it. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Gender Perspective will be back shortly. Do stay with us.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have, some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Well, we've heard from Dr. Brenda, and as conversations around women, peace, and security continue, there are still many assumptions and misconceptions that shape how we see women's roles in conflict and peace building. Now, these myths often downplay women's experiences, often limit their participation, and slow down real progress. And so in this next segment, Myths and Facts, we separate perception from reality, addressing common beliefs about Nigerian women, peace and security, and highlighting the facts that tell a different story. So let's take a look at the myths and facts.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Well, as we come to the end of today's conversation, one message is clear. Women are not just victims of conflict and insecurity. They are also powerful contributors to peace, resilience, and national stability. The experiences of Nigerian women remind us that lasting peace begins when their voices are heard, their rights are protected, and their leadership is recognized. And the way forward, of course, requires collective action from communities, institutions, and policymakers to ensure that women are included in shaping the peace and security agenda. Well, with that, we've come to the end of today's episode of Gender Perspectives. I hope you enjoyed this. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha. See you next week.
Hello and welcome to the TSK show, where teenagers are empowered with the right knowledge to thrive and parents are equipped with the tools to guide them, because when teenagers know better, they do better. My name is Ifoma the Prof Mwato and I'm your host on the TSK show. So on today's episode, we'll look at a very important and insightful topic. It's something that might just change how you handle pressure, goals, and even your phone, and that is delayed gratification. It's all about choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. Yeah, rewards and pleasures. It's the ability to wait for what's better even when what's easy is right in front of you. It is one of the most powerful tools for long-term success and becoming a thriving teen. Does it sound interesting? Is it something interesting? Yeah, of course it is. Then sit back as we dive into this topic, which is one of the biggest secrets behind success. And today in the studio with me to unpack this topic is someone I'm really excited to have on the show, But before I bring her in, we'll go on a short break. Once we are back, I will introduce her to you. Please do not go anywhere.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back to the TSK show, the Things Should Know show on Signature TV. And with me today on the show for today's episode of Things Should Know is a powerful woman. She's a multifaceted identity coach with expertise on education, entertainment, and personal development. Her approach is rooted in empathy, compassion, and authenticity. She is Princess Udochi Alisigwe. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, wow. It's good to have you here. I'm honored and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. So we'll go straight into today's topic, and let's start with the basics. What is delayed gratification?
Now, delayed gratification is choosing to have maximum satisfaction from the outcome of something and not immediate satisfaction that might not give you the optimum satisfaction, that will not give you the, how will I put it now? You know, the bigger picture is what you're looking at when you're talking about delayed gratification. So when you choose the small gains over the very big one that is ahead of you, that's what delayed gratification is all about. Choosing to wait in order to reap the bigger harvest.
Oh, that's beautiful. You were once a teenager. Is there any time you put this into practice and it actually paid off, where you had to wait for something and at the end of the day you have to reap the bigger harvest?
As a teenager, you know, most times teens are being guided by what our parents expect from us. So as a teenager, I wasn't one for immediate gratification. I was always looking at the bigger picture. So, and I wasn't prone to get carried away by pressure for immediate results. So most times that has always been me. So most times I find myself then as a teenager having issues with the pressure to do something
or
immediately.
Get something.
Yes, get it. I will always say no. I will always resist it because I always had a clear picture of what I really wanted. So most times, if it's for the immediate gain, I will always be found wanting. But at the end of the day, I will still pull through.
Okay. So as a personal development and identity coach, what's the first thing you would teach a teenager who is struggling with self-control? Or let's say a teenager who always wants quick results. Some people that want it to happen now, sharp.
Yeah. For a teenager, if I'm to advise a teenager, I will first of all ask that teenager to define his or her values. It is these values that will help you, that is guiding that teenager to be able to have self-control. Because when she has identified, or he has identified his values, his principles, where he wants to land at the end of the day, you can now tell that teenager, if you jump now, you will not land where you want to land. But since this is where you want to land, this is what you have to do. And once that person gets that picture, self-control becomes an easy thing for that person, because that person now understands why he has to forfeit today's gain for tomorrow's bigger success.
Okay, let's look at the social media. The social media is becoming a tool to me, I understand that most teenagers, the pictures they see the celebrities, the influencers, and when they look at those things, they want to be like them. So do you think social media is actually helping the 2025 teenager? Because I don't want to say the 21st century, the today's teenager now.
Today's teenager is being negatively influenced by social media. Because what we see on social media is already made. The process is not shown on social media, and the process might have taken so many years. And what we see is what is happening now, without knowing that something led to that. The 2025 teenager is being derailed by social media, because the social media teenagers are easily influenced by what is happening around them, and when they don't when they are not living up to what they are seeing around, it's as if something is being denied them. So the 2025 teenager needs teens coaches like you, and they need TSK show in order not to be swept away. Because social media is like a flood where it's packing all the dirt, everything. It doesn't discriminate, it just washes everything, and if you find yourself inside it, it carries you along with it. So social media is like a flood. 2025 teens need guidance, serious, strong guidance, in order not to be swept away by the flood of social media.
I actually agree with you that the social media is making it harder for today's teenager to wait. They are making it harder for them to wait for real success. Now, can we talk about the connection between emotional maturity and being able to say no to something? Because sometimes these teenagers will want to keep to these values, but the pressure sometimes does not really allow them to say no. You know, they will say no and they start feeling guilty at the same time, especially those who are being influenced by their peers. So do you think there should be a connection of emotional maturity and the ability to say no without feeling guilty?
There is a connection between emotional maturity and the ability to say no. And a teenager needs, like I said before, needs guidance in order to obtain a level of emotional maturity that will enable him or her to say no without feeling guilty. And it comes down to caregivers, the adults around the teenager, those who are guiding that teenager. Because I believe you have, as an adult, you have a responsibility that has a teenager around. You have a responsibility. Your responsibility is to make sure that what is entrusted in your care does not get spoiled. So what the adult needs to do is bring down values and make that teenager understand. Don't make it like it's a textbook you're cramming to pass an exam. Yes, bring it down to real life. Let them understand on a daily basis what the application of these values will help them achieve. This is what I stand to gain, and this is what I stand to lose. And those who are following this trend, this is what is happening. Once you, as an adult, if you're talking to a teenager, and they feel that you don't know what you're saying. And now when you're talking to them and you're now telling them, and maybe instances you coined in your head starts to align with what they see their mates, their peers do, and what the repercussions, they'll be like, wow. And once it becomes graphical and clear to them, the ability to say no becomes very easy for them. Because they will tell their peer, I know where you will land, and I don't want to land there with you. Therefore, I'm saying no to this, because I personally don't want to land there with you. If that is the path you're choosing For me, it's a no. And when that child is clear about what he is seeing, saying no is not a problem.
It won't be a problem, of course, at all.
And that is how that child will gain emotional maturity.
Okay, now, some of these teenagers have really tried to stay disciplined, and they fall back. It's just like when somebody's addicted to something and there's a relapse. So what do you have to say to a teenager who has been putting in effort to stay sane without being swayed by this flood of the social media, the peer pressures, and all of that, without that person feeling like I am a failure?
You know what? This starts with, that's why I always say the caregivers, the guiders, the guardians, those who are guiding. It starts from childhood. They transcend from childhood to teenage, adolescence. Now, if they are guided properly from that, once you make a mistake in life, the adults that are around you, we are the ones who do the judgment and everything, condemnation and all that. Once we don't do that condemning, you're holding a child and you're climbing a hill that is steep and somebody pours water, and you as an adult, you've encountered it before, so you move. But the teenager you're carrying along sleeps. You don't condemn that teenager for sleeping. It is from sleeping that that teenager will know that, next time I will wait. I wouldn't put my feet inside that water once it's running down. I will have to wait, it runs out, and I look for somewhere else. You know, life, that nobody is perfect. Somebody that you're viewing as perfect grew through mistakes.
Of course.
So for a teenager, start from childhood. They didn't just become teenagers. The caregivers, the coaches, the teachers, start from childhood. Parents, start from childhood to instill values, principles, guidance, and make it very graphical to them. Make it relatable. Make them understand it. So that when they take step 1, taking step 2 will not be difficult.
Of course.
When they encounter problems, encourage them. When they fail, encourage them. Let them know that you also failed and yet you are here. Be that thing they want, physically, relatably. Oh, mommy said she failed in her secondary school. We'll always tell our children that we came first all through. And then we put untold pressure on them. Tell them that you went through the same thing they are going through, and this is how you were able to, even if you were not able to do it, then tell them, I didn't have this guidance.
So, yes.
And now you have it. You're supposed to be better than me.
Okay. You spoke to parents. I want you to speak to the teenager who feels like, I've tried and I kept trying. I put up a step, I miss my step. I put it again, I miss my step. How do you encourage this teenager?
In the first place, I would tell that teenager to drop away expectations.
Drop away expectations. Wow.
Drop it. Your life is your life, and it's not identical with any other person's own. Drop expectations. Take life as it comes.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. You sleep. It is a human being that will sleep.
Of course.
So you take another one. You keep trying and keep trying. Once you do not have that expectation and timeline for yourself, then the untold pressure to succeed and to overcome and everything is put aside. Then you move according to your own pace in life. You know you're trying, pat yourself at the back.
Celebrate your small wins.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, it has been so refreshing and amazing. And teenagers, I hope you're learning, and adults too. Let me use the Nigerian language. We listen, we don't judge. Because it's always adults judging teenagers, making them feel like a failure. And teenagers, you're on your lane. You are not in competition with anybody. So wait. There's a huge reward when you wait. You use the word maximum reward. So We'll go on a short break now, but before we go on that short break, I want you to know that as you're growing up strong and you're looking at a future, a brighter future before you, it is important you practice what we are talking about today, which is delayed gratification. We'll be right back very shortly and we'll continue this conversation. Please do not go anywhere.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Welcome back to the TSK show on Signature TV, where teens are empowered with the right knowledge to thrive and parents are equipped with the tools to guide them. It's been an interesting conversation with our guest, Princess Udochi, who is an identity coach. And the conversation has been an eye-opening one. She has been sharing insights about the topic we are looking at today, which is delayed gratification. We are trying to encourage the young ones to wait because the future is bright. So I want to ask you, Princess, if you're to advise your younger self, like, okay, a teenager now growing up looking at you, concerning what we are talking about, they are sitting there and like, this woman doesn't understand. It's a time of phone, everybody wants to feel among, there are too many trends, from dressing to music to even choice of school, choice of career. Everybody wants to be a tech savvy, a tech guru. Everybody wants to do everything at the same time. So what will you tell that teenager about the power of waiting?
I will tell the teenager this. There is a time and a season
for everything.
For everything.
There's power in waiting.
I would tell the teenager that the day they planted the corn is not the day they harvested.
Of course.
I will tell the teenager that once you plant, that you will nurture, you will weed, and you will wait. And he who nurtures best gains, and not the early harvester.
Yes, so
I will tell that teenager to look at plants around and observe. And that will tell that person what life and nature is all about. Once you can wait and nurture and build and add the manure and the necessary things, the harvest will be bountiful.
Yes.
And you will be joyous.
Okay. So we have parents who put pressures on their children to achieve a thing at a particular time. What do we have to say to these parents?
I will tell the parents that they should stop seeing themselves as failures in the first place. Because it is from that point of you not being able to achieve that you're transferring what you could not succeed in doing to your children.
Exactly. That's just it.
That which you felt you failed in, that is what you want your children, your offsprings, to achieve.
In most cases, that's
and
it.
They are different from you. You've come, you've done your own life. Allow them to come and do theirs. Stop tagging yourself as a failure. Look for your own wins. Do not transfer your own expectations for yourself
on your children,
to your children and your word. You are derailing them from their God-given path. Everybody has a path, and God at creation has already drawn for that person.
Exactly.
You putting your own expectation
on them
is contrary to what God has for that person. Allow that person and his or her God to work hand in hand and achieve what God has created that person for. That is my advice.
I love that, because some of these expectations are from parents.
Yes.
Like they put their children under unnecessary pressure. And I've seen some parents who want a child to do a particular thing, not just for their own glory, to say, oh, it's my child that did this, when they don't even know the child's ability and capability in that field. Oh, wow, wow, wow. I love today's conversation, and it's been an amazing one. Dear teenagers, you've been empowered to thrive, and choosing to wait doesn't mean you're missing out. You're not missing out anything. Just like she said, you nurture it one step at a time. You are only waiting for your disciplined self to show up. There's this saying that he who laughs last laughs the best. But one man said it's not he who laughs last that laughs the best. It's who laughs last laughs louder. So there's power in waiting, and there's reward in waiting. So I want to encourage you to wait. Life is step by step. In the Nigerian language, we say life na turn by turn. So don't let anybody put you under unnecessary pressure. And this is the TSK show. I want to say thank you very much to our guests for coming on the show today. Thank you for sharing insights. You spoke more to parents more than the teenagers today. Thank you so very much. And this is going to be a wrap for today. Remember, my name is Ifoma the Prof Mwato. Also, do not forget that knowledge is power, and the best things of life takes time, effort, and patience. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep showing up for yourself. Catch you next week, same time on Things Should Know. Bye for now.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have, some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with the diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Thank you very much. Wow. I thought this was a youth event. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. I'm here with my friend, Stephen Akintayo, known Stephen for over 2 decades. He has become an institution, one of the hottest brands when it comes to real estate in Nigeria and across the world. Only if you run business in Africa, right, everything can go and wrong. Will go wrong. We didn't know there's a separation between your US company and your Nigerian company. And you too, your logo didn't show this one Nigeria, this one US. But we also think maybe your Nigerian company is repatriating money to your US company. Stephen is turning 40. When he told me, I'm like, it can't be 40. Like, how is it that you are just turning 40?
Life.
And when you talk about a life well lived, how has he revolutionized digital marketing?
It was funny. We're doing a Doha retreat.
Right.
In fact, it trended when I was on my way to Doha. And that's why it trended, because I was in the plane.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, this is my word. So I will advise them to delete it.
Revolutionized business thinking, revolutionized real estate with a network of businesses across Nigeria, the Middle East, and North America.
You know, the days where you name street after politicians, again, if they are good, it's okay.
Yeah.
But politicians who have not added any value, and you have people someone has built 2 universities, who else?
And then I asked him, in the past year, just before this celebration, he has been under so much attack. You know, in social media, there's this scandal, there's this attack, there's this report. At the same time, you're seeing him with Dr. Cosmas Maduka, you're seeing him with Bishop Oyedepo, you're seeing him with President Olusegun Obasanjo. What is that like? How does he handle such high-stake pressure? What has he learned from that whirlwind?
His gratitude to say, could you have been through all of this? And you are still standing. Right? It's not normal. It's nothing short of miracle.
Right. What is he grateful for? And at 40, what will he consider his biggest achievement?
Impact. Was in 40 years, it's never been really about me. No, it's never been about me.
For a man who is developing a 1,000 person unit in Ibejuleki, his answer will shock and probably inspire you. Welcome to With Today's Special with Stephen Akintayo.
Come for me.
Good to see you again.
Same here.
This is an amazing period because I think last year, GTEx celebrated 10 years.
GTEx Land.
Land.
The real estate.
Okay, yes, so GTEx Land celebrated 10 years. And then this year, actually this week.
Yes. Next week.
Next, yes.
Okay, this week.
This week, they will be seeing
yes,
it.
This week.
You are turning 40.
40, yes.
First and foremost, I did a double take.
I know.
Not because, you know, and I realized, so
I
sometimes
know.
people tell me, when I turned 40, and people told me, oh.
You thought you were older.
Yes. So I thought, had they saying I look old?
Yes.
But I'm like, no, just think that you've been here
yes,
for so
yes,
long.
yes, that's it.
How does that feel? Did it shock you that 40 is here?
No, funny enough, you know, it didn't. If I used to feel like I'm the only one who couldn't wait to be 40, you know, because you knew you were younger, but everybody feel you are much older. So
it's good that the 40 is
exactly,
here now, so that
I cannot lie. So a lot of people used to believe I'm much older, and I think some say my accomplishments, some say this, but I'm full of gratitude. I'm forced to, you know, reflect and really be grateful, you know, to say people who come from where I come from are not usually here, right? You know, I learned how to spell the word THE in GSS1. That's how bad.
In GSS1?
GSS1.
THE.
THE.
That's D.
Yeah.
You didn't learn how to spell D until GSS1?
GSS1. My first school was Arabic school.
Right.
You know, if I learned Arabic before I learned English, because I was born in Maiduguri, in the northern part of Nigeria. So there's just so much. You look back and you realize that, you know, no, this must be God.
When I see you, this is the thought that comes to me. This
Yeah.
is. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, please.
I'm like, this is the energy of a man who has too much money.
No! If that's the last thing I thought you
I know. That's why I say it's cringe. But there's a sense, and it's not in that. There's an energy when you've made more money than you ever thought as a child. When
Yes,
you get
yes,
there,
yes.
then you make even more.
Yeah.
Again, it's a cringe question, but honestly, how does that feel to achieve the kind of financial wealth, not even freedom, that most people cannot even comprehend, and your life is just getting to 40?
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
I don't feel that way.
Yeah. When
I don't.
What do you feel?
I feel like I'm just starting.
Makes sense, right?
And two things made me humble.
Okay.
One is the caliber of mentors I have. Right? So, okay, how do you feel you've arrived where Cosmos Maduka and the relationships, we almost speak almost every day.
Right.
So where do you really?
Yes. It gives you perspective.
It gives you perspective. And your spiritual father is Bishop Oedipo.
Yeah.
So how? Like, I mean, you
do the math.
You do the math. Like, where are we? Yes. So the second thing is also that I always try. One of my favorite songs now is I go cut my coat oversized this year. So I always try to start a new project far bigger than the resources I have can. Right. So I'm always running. I'm always hustling. In fact, I don't know it until people tell me. I remember meeting somebody in the US. In the UK, I got an award in one of those, the parliament. Right. And then one of the guys I met there is a Nigerian. So the following week, he said, I saw your picture. I saw how hard you're working. It's like you've never seen 1 million naira in your life, right? But honestly, when I was privileged to do a 50-year goal plan.
Right. You had a 50-year goal.
Yes, literally where I'm going to be by the 50 years from that time, and I did that 18 years ago.
Right. Is that the same plan that is still on course now?
Yes. Right. And so and I don't want to even tell people. It's scary.
Yes, but please tell us.
No, it's scary. So for me, it's when people say, you've come this far. I'm like, where I'm going.
You've not even seen.
Yes, and I've not come too close. I've not even come close to the vision God showed me. And it took me years to pray, because my model of visualization, I come up with a goal and then I pray. So for this one, I prayed for over a year. I woke up 5 a.m. and I'll be reciting everything to God. This I'm trusting you for. This I'm trusting you for. So it sinks so deep that you can see it. It's not yet there, right? So for me, I'm still very much mentally. When people say, how do you feel like you are this rich and I feel
still on the journey.
If you know what we are trying to do, and I no longer feel something is weird about it, because when I really also meet some of the most successful people, you see that they are also mentally that way.
Right. I get that.
Right, and it's not in a imposter syndrome way. Like, I know who I am and I'm grateful to God, but where I'm going is a lot more, so I can't even afford to feel like
What was the plan for year 10 in the strategic plan?
As at year 10, we were supposed to have, I think, about 30 companies. 30 companies. One of them is a private jet company, and we still don't have it.
A private
jet company.
Jet company, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And still don't have it.
Okay, so does that mean that there's some goals you set for year 10 that you didn't get as at year 10?
Yes. There are some. Yeah. And there are some that was supposed to be year 30.
But then you got them earlier.
Yes, I got them earlier.
So the idea is not that you are a slave to the goal.
No.
Yes, it's that you are going in there.
Yes. Like, we're supposed to have expand to more international countries, I think around year 2030 or year 2035.
Right.
And now we're in Dubai, Doha, UK, and US.
Right.
So that came much earlier.
Yes. But at the beginning, how were the goals broken? Sorry, I'm very interested in this. Were the goals broken into like annual? Were they broken into chunks, like 5 years?
Yes.
10 years?
So I did 20. This was 2008.
Yeah.
Had a one-room 12 by 12 feet room with a very small toilet.
Right.
That
Where?
was Agowe, Ogun State University. I was just wrapping up university.
Right.
It was my office and it was my room. Right. And that's when I did
this vision.
So I had a vision board.
Right.
And so every morning I see it, and every morning 5 a.m. I wake up and I just pray those visions.
Yeah. You see, I want you to make it real, because so the people around you know the kind of visions you have.
They laughed.
They laughed, yes.
They laughed. In fact, a lot of them now, when they see me, they say, and I saw those boards. And can I be honest with you? I used to, just chuckle and like, this guy is not serious. Because, I practically had, two jeans faded, one suit that had also faded. One of my, again, I was a leader who was poor, and I used to have, I'm going to be great. I pastor on campus.
Right.
So one of my members wanted to throw the suit away. I said, I don't even have a suit. It was a navy blue. I'll never forget it. Right. So I got the suit. So I had one suit. So imagine that kind of person then drafting all these ideas. Then I had a check that by 2009, one of my companies, and by the way, I had registered, 2 companies then.
Even from the one room?
Yes.
So the one room was the headquarters?
It was HQ.
Yeah.
So I had opened GT Bank then. You can open 0 accounts, even corporates. I had opened, then I tore a check. One was 1.something million. The other company was going to have 1 million. I still do that till today. Was going to have.
So you write down the amount of money that you want to work towards in the future. Is that what you're saying?
So I tear a check.
Yes.
I write there, I sign it like it's a check that has that money. Then I paste it in my picture board. Right. So with my 50-year goal, picture board, and some couple of other things.
How much is the one on your board now? Let us be inspired.
I'm learning that Nigerians don't want. I have a challenge, and my challenge is unique. In Dubai, they love luxury. So when I used to live in Dubai, I was living in Burj Khalifa, I had a Rolls Royce, and all of that. In US, the same. Like, nobody believes you except you show some luxury in US. But in Africa,
you get into trouble.
Yeah. And people really come after you as though you, and they always don't get it that you're a private citizen. You may be famous and all of that, but you are still a private citizen. So there's a thin line to how you can just hold a private citizen accountable like a politician. They're just two
different things. Let's talk about, you hinted at this, let's talk about some of the attacks on social media recently. You started before this real estate boom in the sector. But
I don't know.
So it's by association, but people are now very suspicious of the real estate space. So there's every small thing becomes a challenge. Let's talk about, one of those was an issue with the Celestial Church, where they said they warned every member against transacting business, or that's how one of the blogs carried it. What happened there?
First of all, our lawyer looked at it and they said it wasn't Celestial.
Right.
And that if you take legal action, Cele will come and do a disclaimer.
So it wasn't the Celestial Church?
It's just a blogger who probably attends Cele.
So it was an individual's case?
Yes. It's just like if you attend a church, you can create like a community for everybody who attend that church. Right. And over time you grow it. And my parents are white garment as well, so I know that terrain and background very well.
So what happened in this case?
We don't have any Cele church that we
So this was, so you're saying the case is not, there was...
We don't have any. There could be potential customers who maybe attend Cele, who maybe complained. That's normal. But nobody came to us and said, well, I'm Cele. Right. And I want to do business. Because I called the office and I said, did you sell land to Cele? Did you? And also, it's important to know that I don't do direct transaction. I've not done that. No customer has ever paid a dime into my personal account in my life. Right. So and again, Nigerians don't know there's difference between a company by law, registered company is different from individual. So the day you use my picture, the day you are breaking the law. Right. You are free if you have an issue with a company to take them to court, to have your issues with them, but you don't bring the founder of the company. I'm not even the group CEO of this company anymore, right? This year, I'm no longer even the chairman. Michael Kiro is not the chairman, former IG of police, right? I have a new company.
Well, congrats on getting, I mean,
yes.
You know, because law enforcement usually are very reluctant to be chairs of boards.
You have no idea the quality of people that are glad to identify with us. Because they know how we've done business. It's when you are not close
that you don't know.
Exactly. When you are close, you know that, when I trended for $18,000, people were sending messages to Dr. Cosmos, and he was just sending me his reply. He didn't even ask what happened. It was just brutal reply to them.
That was telling you the reply to
yes,
them.
No, the reply he replied to those were
in defense of you.
In defense. Right. I felt like crying.
What was the $18,000 trending topic? Was that the mentorship thing?
Yes. Right.
Now let me ask you this, because I was going to ask that question. You know,
yes.
Last year you posted a picture of yourself with Bishop Oyedepo.
Yes.
And you said in that document that you had spent over $100,000 in that tweet.
Yes.
In formal. So I like the way you use formal.
Yes.
So it's not informal calculation.
Yes.
So it's things like the Harvard things.
Yes.
You spent over $100,000 on personal training for yourself in the past year alone.
Absolutely.
Now, when I saw the news about the $18,000, I thought about that post.
Yes,
I thought, it might look strange to other people for this person to say this. But if he has spent $100,000 on his own training,
thank you.
But let's just ask it from the point of the Nigerian. Like $18,000 Lori mentorship.
Yes, I love that question.
Can you explain that? Because for young people, it doesn't make. For people, it may not make sense.
First of all, it's not even 18,000. It was 20,000 then.
Right, $10,000
then. Right. So they gave a discount.
Okay.
You know, my social media team, even though I blame them, that.
So what is the original? The original amount was $20,000.
$20,000 is not new.
For people to be mentored by you
for a year.
For a year.
And they are not anybody. They are business owners whose business is already doing over 200 million naira annually.
Right.
And many of them want to go international.
Right.
Many of them want to start doing business in larger volume. Mm-hmm. One of those privileged mentees of mine, when I met him, he had 17 staff. Mm-hmm. He was doing an average of 18 to 20 million in transaction every month.
Right.
Today, he does over $1 billion every month in 2 years of my mentorship. Right. Over $1 billion every month.
Wait, $1 billion every month?
Every
month. That's 12 billion a year.
Yes, over as a last year record.
Right.
His employee are over 300.
And this is on that after 2 years of mentorship.
After 2 years of mentorship. Right. And I can go on and on with people like that.
Right.
So again, I blame my social media team for posting it on social media because it's not new, but social media is not the place, and you see why some of your questions I'm like, maybe let's leave it, because everybody is there, and the assumption is a man who is even struggling to get a job of 100K, and then he's hearing that 34 million, and you know they will change it to dollar, 34 to naira rather, 34 million naira. Somebody is charging that. You see how, and it's funny that majority of my students are not living in Nigeria.
Right.
Some are not even Nigerians. Right. And I don't live in Nigeria. I live in America. My bills are in dollars. Right. When I even come to Nigeria, it costs me a lot to buy tickets, you know. But we have a lot of businesses I need to inspire, check what's going on, all of that.
Come in here regularly.
So I come regularly, you know, and I do conferences and things like that. So that brings me into Nigeria. So they couldn't, and that's why I'm saying my life is it's a bit complex.
As you turn 40, when you look back at all these battles, and it's instructive that some of these battles happened, you know, over the past year.
Yeah.
You know, just before the celebration. It's not how life usually is.
Life.
What would you say all of these things have taught you?
Well, one is, funny enough, is gratitude. To say, could you have been through all of this? And you are still standing. Right? It's not normal. It's nothing short of miracle.
Right. That you're
right?
still standing.
That you're still standing.
You're still thriving.
And you're still thriving. And because not everybody go through this. I mean, this is one or two of these, they've packed up and we're out and done. So it's just, and that's also why sometimes I'm a bit humble about some of these things, because we can get justice.
Right.
We can.
If you decide to fight fire for fire.
We can do.
What did your mentors advise you to do then?
So,
because even as you're speaking, I can realize why you're even closer to Bishop Oyedepo.
Yeah.
Bishop Oyedepo, when he began to enter into the public consciousness,
yes.
there was that whole struggle as well. Pastor that has jets, pastor that, So how did they teach you to manage it then?
It's still new because, it's still new. For example, Bishop read my latest book and he said, you've put too much out there. Right?
So what's the purpose behind hosting him and then naming the street in his honor in the new, one of the new developments that you are coming?
So for me was that I look at my journey and he's been consistent. Right. If I didn't pastor Winners Campus Fellowship, I wouldn't learn to be tough, understand managing people. And that's why I said to people, it's recently that the one-on-one is there. It was the institution he built. And that's why I'm also big on institution. I'm not big on one-man business. Because when you build an institution, you can mentor so many people through that institution. Right? So here is a man who has built an institution that really helped me to find myself, discover my leadership potential, helped me to really evolve. And in recent time that we've gotten connected has also helped me to manage the level I am in. Because I also had a season where you are at a level, but you also now started lacking people who are higher,
who understand.
Thank you. They understand the complexity of that level.
Yeah, I get that.
You see now. So I'll give you a typical example. If you are not at a level, if 2-3 people come and report me to you, just like the Dr. Cosmo I say, you just say, let me avoid that guy. Let me save my head, right? But if you have gone through that journey, you just be laughing. In fact, when they come and report you just say, you don't know the people. This is how to avoid these people.
The people that are coming to report
the people that are coming to report you. And the people that
they themselves don't avoid those.
Exactly. This is how to. You don't know the people you are dealing with because they've also been there.
Of course.
Right? It's also been there.
So you see his constancy of his principles, his life, his teaching, his structure, his institutions in your life.
In my life.
Which is why you would go to a church and you would preach and you don't talk about the business.
Yes.
Because what you want is to
it's to add value to the ministry. It's not about money. It's not.
But thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Happy 40th birthday. You know, one of the reasons, like when I sit down with people who I've known for a long time, I always tell, I say because I've been around, these young people, they thought we just started yesterday. And so when I respect Pastor Jerry, I say because I know when Jerry took a sacrifice. And I knew you because I saw the beginnings of digital marketing. And we speak, who is this wonder kid who seems to understand social media? So I've seen that organic growth over 2 decades. And so you truly deserve to be celebrated.
Thank you.
As you turn, I can't believe you're just 40.
Thank
you.
Even me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
More power.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what comes next.
Yes.
It's around.
Signature TV. News in your pocket.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem. There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
Federal government demands justice over killing of Nigerians in South Africa. Tinubu seeks stronger partnership with faith leaders. Katsina governor vows zero tolerance for gender child abuse. U.S. congressman says Trump administration will closely monitor Nigeria's 2027 elections. Details in a moment.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
The federal government has condemned the recent killings of Nigerian nationals in South Africa and demanded a thorough investigation to ensure those responsible are identified and prosecuted. In a statement issued on Sunday by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimiebe Ebienfa, the government expressed deep concern over the safety of Nigerians and other foreign nationals in South Africa following a series of violent incidents. The federal government said the killings had heightened concerns about the safety of Nigerians residing in South Africa and urged the South African authorities to conduct comprehensive investigations into the incidents and other unresolved cases involving Nigerian citizens. It also expressed concern over a recent televised statement attributed to a South African government spokesperson who reportedly asked Nigerians living the country in the wake of anti-foreigner protests to disclose the locations where illegal drugs were hidden. Describing the reported remarks as unacceptable, the ministry warned that public statements capable of stereotyping an entire community could inflame tensions and further endanger innocent people. The government also criticized groups accused of promoting hostility towards foreign nationals and called on the South African authorities to take decisive action against hate speech and violence targeting migrants. Reaffirming its commitment to the rule of law, the federal government stressed that allegations of criminal conduct should be addressed through lawful procedures, adding that every suspect is entitled to a fair hearing. While sympathizing with the families of the deceased, the government pledged to sustain diplomatic engagement with the South African government to ensure justice is served. It advised Nigerians living in South Africa to remain calm, law-abiding, and vigilant, urging them to avoid violence-prone areas and relocate to safer neighborhoods where necessary while diplomatic efforts continue. National Democratic Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi has accused President Bola Tinubu's administration of entrenched corruption, citing the latest findings from the International Monetary Fund on Nigeria's public finances. In a post on X on Sunday, Obi alleged that about 8.83 trillion naira in government expenditure undertaken in 2025 was not reflected in the national budget, describing the development as evidence of grand corruption. Obi argued that the amount represented about 2% of Nigeria's gross domestic product, more than 35% of the 2025 capital budget, and exceeded the combined federal allocations to the education and health sectors. He further claimed that the reported spending reflected a pattern of financial mismanagement under the current administration. The former Anambra State governor renewed his earlier call for Tinubu to step down, saying with the daily revelations of pervasive corruption in his administration and its total lack of commitment to the welfare and security of Nigerian citizens, according to him, the only reasonable action is for President Tinubu to resign from office. Obi also urged Nigerians to demand greater accountability from the government. President Bola Tinubu Ahmed Saturday reaffirmed his administration's commitment to promoting religious harmony among all faiths, saying Nigeria would continue to work closely with religious leaders to deepen peace, tolerance, and national cohesion across the country. The president made the pledge while receiving the Secretary for Relations with States and International Organizations of the Holy See, Archbishop Paul R. Gallagher, at his residence in Abuja. The Vatican envoy was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu. According to a statement issued by presidential spokesman Bayo Nanuga, the president praised the Pope Leo's global peace initiatives and recalled the leading Nigerian delegation to his inauguration. Tinubu also reaffirmed his administration's commitment to promoting religious harmony, saying dialogue among faiths remained essential to addressing the country's security challenges. The president said his government remained committed to protecting freedom of worship and acknowledged the Catholic Church's role in expanding access to education, healthcare, and humanitarian services across Nigeria. He also told the Vatican delegation that additional resources were being deployed to improve security and prevent young people from being recruited by extremist groups. He also commended Nigerians' efforts to promote peace and thanked the government for its cooperation with the Catholic Church, including facilitating visas for bishops and supporting the church's activities. The Imo State Police Command has dismissed allegations of an attack on a student hostel by suspected herdsmen, describing the report as entirely false. The command spokesperson DSP Henry Okoye disclosed this on Sunday, following reports circulating on Facebook about the alleged attack. The report had earlier alleged that more than 80 students were trapped in a hostel that was set ablaze around the Federal Polytechnic Nekede, Owerri, by suspected herdsmen. Okoye said the report was entirely false, misleading, and capable of causing unnecessary panic among residents. He called on the public to disregard the report and refrain from sharing unverified information, warning that such content could trigger fear, panic, or public disorder. The command also appealed to residents to always verify the authenticity of information through credible and official sources before sharing it on social media or other platforms. The senator representing Kogi Central, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has facilitated the installation of a free campus-wide Wi-Fi facility at the Federal College of Education, Okene. The initiative, unveiled on Sunday, is aimed at improving internet access for students and enhancing teaching, learning, research, and innovation in the institution. This was disclosed in a statement issued in Abuja by her media aide, Mike Idoko. The project comes weeks after the senator launched the growing Kogi Central building, Our Future 10,000 Economic Trees project, an initiative designed to promote environmental sustainability and economic empowerment in the district. Speaking after the installation, Akpoti said the intervention was part of her commitment to expanding education opportunities and preparing young people for the digital economy. The senator said improved internet connectivity would enable students to access international learning resources, online certification programs, artificial intelligence, software development, entrepreneurship, and remote employment opportunities. Some students who spoke after the inauguration welcomed the initiative, describing it as a major boost to academic activities. According to them, the facility will reduce the cost of purchasing internet data, improve access to digital libraries and online courses, and help students acquire skills needed to compete in the global digital economy. The federal government on Saturday flagged off the distribution of comprehensive emergency obstetric and newborn care equipment, essential drugs, ambulances, maternity kits, and other healthcare commodities worth about 10 billion naira to health facilities across Bauchi State to strengthen healthcare delivery and improve maternal and child health outcomes. Speaking during the official flag-off ceremony at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital, Bauchi, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Muhammad Ali Pate, said the intervention is part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's nationwide health sector reforms aimed at revitalizing primary health care and expanding access to quality healthcare services. Pate said the intervention will provide 20 primary healthcare centers with essential medical equipment, while another 20 healthcare facilities across 15 local government areas will receive critical drugs and healthcare commodities. He added that the federal government is also supplying 15 tricycle ambulances, 6 conventional ambulances, and 17,000 maternity kits for pregnant women across the state to reduce the financial burden of childbirth and encourage safe deliveries. Pate noted that under President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, more than 45 million Nigerians now access healthcare services every quarter through sustained investments in primary healthcare infrastructure, medical equipment, essential commodities, and human resource development. The minister also highlighted the construction and revitalization of over 100 primary healthcare centers across the state through collaboration between the federal and Bauchi state governments, as well as the training of thousands of frontline healthcare workers. He commended the Bauchi state government, the State Ministry of Health, and the Bauchi State Primary Healthcare Development Board for the partnership in implementing the interventions. Governor Diko Rada of Katsina State has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to protecting the rights and dignity of women and children through stronger policies and collaboration. Rada gave the assurance while receiving a delegation from the Nigerian Governors Spouses Forum on an advocacy visit on Saturday in Katsina. The delegation was led by the governor's wife, Hajiya Zulayat. Rada said that his administration remained resolute in implementing policies and programs that promote the safety, dignity, and rights of women, girls, and children across the state. He stressed that his government would not tolerate any form of abuse or discrimination against women and children. The governor pledged sustained collaboration with relevant stakeholders to strengthen prevention, response, and support mechanisms for GBV victims. Rada also commended the NGSF delegation for championing advocacy programs that promote the protection of vulnerable groups. He described the forum's campaign as timely, noting that sustained public awareness would help reduce incidents of violence and foster safer communities. Earlier, the governor's wife said the campaign was designed to sensitize communities on the harmful effects of violence against women, girls, children, and encouraged stronger measures to safeguard survivors. She described gender-based violence as a serious threat to family stability, social development, and national progress. According to her, ending the menace requires collective action involving government, traditional rulers, religious leaders, parents, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders. The governor's wife commended the state government for initiatives aimed at protecting the rights of women, children, and improving their welfare. She urged communities to break the culture of silence surrounding abuse by reporting cases promptly and supporting victims. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, says troops are making significant progress towards the rescue of 39 pupils and 7 teachers abducted in Oyo State. Shaibu disclosed this during an interactive session with media executives on Saturday in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, as part of activities marking the 2026 Nigerian Army Day celebration. The victims were abducted on May 15 from the schools in Rera local government area of Oyo State. He expressed confidence that the operation would lead to the safe rescue of the victims and the reunion with their families. Shaibu said the Nigerian Army remained actively engaged in various operations across the country's 6 geopolitical zones to address evolving security challenges. Speaking on operations in the northeast, he said troops under Operation Hardin Kai had recorded significant successes against insurgents and terrorists. The COAS also highlighted achievements in the North Central region through Operations Enduring Peace, Wild Stroke, and the newly established Operation Savannah Shield. He said the operations had enhanced security in Plateau, Benue, Nasarawa, Kwara, Niger, and parts of Kogi states. On the southeast, Shaibu said the security situation had improved considerably, noting that there were no reported disruptions during the last Christmas celebrations. Still to come, U.S. Congressman says Trump administration will closely monitor Nigeria's 2027 elections. Qatar to resume all maritime activities immediately. Stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
The United States administration of President Donald Trump will closely monitor Nigeria's upcoming 2027 general elections, U.S. Congressman Riley Moore has said. Moore, a Republican, represented West Virginia while responding to questions about Nigeria's next general election, described the conduct of the polls as an issue that Washington will be paying very close attention to. He made the remarks in an interview with journalists posted on social media on Sunday. The lawmaker also disclosed that the U.S. House of Representatives was considering an appropriation bill containing provisions relating to Nigeria, particularly on religious freedom and U.S. security assistance. According to him, the proposed legislation contains pretty strong and aggressive language on Nigeria's relationship with the United States. Moore said he would continue engaging the Trump administration on Nigeria-related issues and revealed he was scheduled to meet the U.S. president. Qatar said on Sunday that maritime activities will resume with immediate effect, according to Transport Ministry statement posted on X. This reverses a June 29 advisory that has urged the temporary suspension of sailing and fishing boats until further notice, though commercial shipping was exempted. The minister on Sunday urged all maritime vessel operators and users to abide by the maritime regulations and instructions in effect to ensure the highest levels of safety and security for all trips. Qatar did not provide the reason behind the June 29 measure, but it came a day after it said one of its nationals had been killed after sustaining injuries from shrapnel due to military operations in the region following the disappearance of his vessel. The Senegalese delegation has reportedly been left stranded in the United States following the cancellation of a special flight arranged to bring the team home after their elimination from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The Teranga Lions exited the tournament after a hard-fought 3-2 defeat to Belgium in the round of 16, ending their World Cup campaign according to reports. Disregardment, Football of Sports and Senegalese Football Federation led to the cancellation of the delegation stranded in the United States, with players, officials facing uncertainty over their travel arrangements. Neither the Ministry of Sports nor the Senegalese Football Federation has issued an official statement explaining the situation, as efforts are expected to continue to resolve the impasse and facilitate the delegation's return to Senegal. That's the wrap on Global News. I am Christopher Lely. Thanks for watching.
Bright and early as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day, we at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
WAEC is overrated, and they even overrated themselves and went into CBT. They are insensitive of some Nigerian children who have never had what they call CBT.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change the narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture export. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning, weekdays, and Signature New Day, weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on eVibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder. So
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that.
No.
That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Let's pray. Father, Lord, our Heavenly God, we come before you this evening with humility and love, because we are the people who call by your name. And you said that we will be blessed going in and coming in. Father, speak through me so that your people will hear what you intended them to hear. And not only them be a hearer, but also be a doer of the things they will hear, so that they will be blessed by. This is what we ask in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Everybody say amen. We give God glory for today. We are not going to waste any time, but to dive into the scripture. Go with me at Exodus chapter 20, starting from verse 1. Exodus 20, starting from verse 1. I hope everybody is there. If you're not there, follow the screen where our media will help us out so that you don't have Bible with them, will follow. But you are encouraged every time to have your word, your sword with you all the time, either through your electronic or through your conventional Bible. Excuse me.
When he began to enter into the public
yes,
consciousness, there was that whole struggle as well.
Oh,
pastor that has jets, pastor that.
Federal government demands justice over killing of Nigerians in South Africa. Tinubu seeks stronger partnership with faith leaders. Katsina governor vows zero tolerance for gender child abuse. U.S. congressman says Trump administration will closely monitor Nigeria's 2027 elections. Details in a moment.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
The federal government has condemned the recent killings of Nigerian nationals in South Africa and demanded a thorough investigation to ensure those responsible are identified and prosecuted. In a statement issued on Sunday by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimiebe Bienfa, the government expressed deep concern over the safety of Nigerians and other foreign nationals in South Africa following a series of violent incidents. The federal government said the killings had heightened concerns about the safety of Nigerians residing in South Africa and urged the South African authorities to conduct comprehensive investigations into the incidents and other unresolved cases involving Nigerian citizens. It also expressed concern over a recent televised statement attributed to a South African government spokesperson who reportedly asked Nigerians living the country in the wake of anti-foreigner protests to disclose the locations where illegal drugs were hidden. Describing the reported remarks as unacceptable, the ministry warned that public statements capable of stereotyping an entire community could inflame tensions and further endanger innocent people. The government also criticized groups accused of promoting hostility towards foreign nationals and called on the South African authorities to take decisive action against hate speech and violence targeting migrants. Reaffirming its commitment to the rule of law, the federal government stressed that allegations of criminal conduct should be addressed through lawful procedures, adding that every suspect is entitled to a fair hearing. While sympathizing with the families of the deceased, the government pledged to sustain diplomatic engagement with the South African government to ensure justice is served. It advised Nigerians living in South Africa to remain calm, law-abiding, and vigilant, urging them to avoid violence-prone areas and relocate to safer neighborhoods where necessary while diplomatic efforts continue. National Democratic Party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has accused President Bola Tinubu's administration of entrenched corruption, citing the latest findings from the International Monetary Fund on Nigeria's public finances. In a post on X on Sunday, Obi alleged that about 8.83 trillion naira in government expenditure undertaken in 2025 was not reflected in the national budget, describing the development as evidence of grand corruption. Obi argued that the amount represented about 2% of Nigeria's gross domestic product, more than 35% of the 2025 capital budget, and exceeded the combined federal allocations to the education and health sectors. He further claimed that the reported spending reflected a pattern of financial mismanagement under the current administration. The former Anambra State governor renewed his earlier call for Tinubu to step down, saying with the daily revelations of pervasive corruption in his administration and its total lack of commitment to the welfare and security of Nigerian citizens, according to him, the only reasonable action is for President Tinubu to resign from office. Obi also urged Nigerians to demand greater accountability from the government. President Bola Tinubu Ahmed Saturday reaffirmed his administration's commitment to promoting religious harmony among all faiths, saying Nigeria would continue to work closely with religious leaders to deepen peace, tolerance, and national cohesion across the country. The president made the pledge while receiving the Secretary for Relations with States and International Organizations of the Holy See, Archbishop Paul R. Gallagher, at his residence in Abuja. The Vatican envoy was accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu. According to a statement issued by presidential spokesman Bayo Nanuga, the president praised the Pope Leo's global peace initiatives and recalled the leading Nigerian delegation to his inauguration. Tinubu also reaffirmed his administration's commitment to promoting religious harmony, saying dialogue among faiths remained essential to addressing the country's security challenges. The president said his government remained committed to protecting freedom of worship and acknowledged the Catholic Church's role in expanding access to education, healthcare, and humanitarian services across Nigeria. He also told the Vatican delegation that additional resources were being deployed to improve security and prevent young people from being recruited by extremist groups. He also commended Nigerians' efforts to promote peace and thanked the government for its cooperation with the Catholic Church, including facilitating visas for bishops and supporting the church's activities. The Imo State Police Command has dismissed allegations of an attack on a student hostel by suspected herdsmen, describing the report as entirely false. The command spokesperson DSP Henry Okoye disclosed this on Sunday, following reports circulating on Facebook about the alleged attack. The report had earlier alleged that more than 80 students were trapped in the hostel that was set ablaze around the Federal Polytechnic Nekede, Owerri, by suspected herdsmen. Okoye said the report was entirely false, misleading, and capable of causing unnecessary panic among residents. He called on the public to disregard the report and refrain from sharing unverified information, warning that such content could trigger fear, panic, or public disorder. The command also appealed to residents to always verify the authenticity of information through credible and official sources before sharing it on social media or other platforms. The senator representing Kogi Central, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has facilitated the installation of a free campus-wide Wi-Fi facility at the Federal College of Education, Okene. The initiative, unveiled on Sunday, is aimed at improving internet access for students and enhancing teaching, learning, research, and innovation in the institution. This was disclosed in a statement issued in Abuja by her media aide, Mike Idoko. The project comes weeks after the senator launched the growing Kogi Central building, Our Future 10,000 Economic Trees project, an initiative designed to promote environmental sustainability and economic empowerment in the district. Speaking after the installation, Akpoti said the intervention was part of her commitment to expanding education opportunities and preparing young people for the digital economy. The senator said improved internet connectivity would enable students to access international learning resources, online certification programs, artificial intelligence, software development, entrepreneurship, and remote employment opportunities. Some students who spoke after the inauguration welcomed the initiative, describing it as a major boost to academic activities. According to them, the facility will reduce the cost of purchasing internet data, improve access to digital libraries and online courses, and help students acquire skills needed to compete in the global digital economy. The federal government on Saturday flagged off the distribution of comprehensive emergency obstetric and newborn care equipment, essential drugs, ambulances, maternity kits, and other healthcare commodities worth about 10 billion naira to health facilities across Bauchi State to strengthen healthcare delivery and improve maternal and child health outcomes. Speaking during the official flag-off ceremony at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital, Bauchi, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Muhammad Ali Pate, said the intervention is part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's nationwide health sector reforms aimed at revitalizing primary health care and expanding access to quality healthcare services. Pate said the intervention will provide 20 primary healthcare centers with essential medical equipment, while another 20 healthcare facilities across 15 local government areas will receive critical drugs and healthcare commodities. He added that the federal government is also supplying 15 tricycle ambulances, 6 conventional ambulances, and 17,000 maternity kits for pregnant women across the state to reduce the financial burden of childbirth and encourage safe deliveries. Pate noted that under President Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, more than 45 million Nigerians now access healthcare services every quarter through sustained investments in primary healthcare infrastructure, medical equipment, essential commodities, and human resource development. The minister also highlighted the construction and revitalization of over 100 primary healthcare centers across the state through collaboration between the federal and Bauchi state governments, as well as the training of thousands of frontline healthcare workers. He commended the Bauchi state government, the State Minister of Health, and the Bauchi State Primary Healthcare Development Board for the partnership in implementing the interventions. Governor Diko Rada of Katsina State has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to protecting the rights and dignity of women and children through stronger policies and collaboration. Rada gave the assurance while receiving a delegation from the Nigerian Governors Spouses Forum on an advocacy visit on Saturday in Katsina. The delegation was led by the governor's wife, Hajiya Zulayat. Rada said that his administration remained resolute in implementing policies and programs that promote the safety, dignity, and rights of women, girls, and children across the state. He stressed that his government would not tolerate any form of abuse or discrimination against women and children. The governor pledged sustained collaboration with relevant stakeholders to strengthen prevention, response, and support mechanisms for GBV victims. Rada also commended the NGSF delegation for championing advocacy programs that promote the protection of vulnerable groups. He described the forum's campaign as timely, noting that sustained public awareness would help reduce incidents of violence and foster safer communities. Earlier, the governor's wife said the campaign was designed to sensitize communities on the harmful effects of violence against women, girls, children, and encouraged stronger measures to safeguard survivors. She described gender-based violence as a serious threat to family stability, social development, and national progress. According to her, ending the menace requires collective action involving government, traditional rulers, religious leaders, parents, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders. The governor's wife commended the state government for initiatives aimed at protecting the rights of women, children, and improving their welfare. She urged communities to break the culture of silence surrounding abuse by reporting cases promptly and supporting victims. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, says troops are making significant progress towards the rescue of 39 pupils and 7 teachers abducted in Oyo State. Shaibu disclosed this during an interactive session with media executives on Saturday in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, as part of activities marking the 2026 Nigerian Army Day celebration. The victims were abducted on May 15 from the schools in the Rera local government area of Oyo State. He expressed confidence that the operation would lead to the safe rescue of the victims and the reunion with their families. Shaibu said the Nigerian army remained actively engaged in various operations across the country's 6 geopolitical zones to address evolving security challenges. Speaking on operations in the northeast, he said troops under Operation Hardin Kai had recorded significant successes against insurgents and terrorists. The COAS also highlighted achievements in the North Central region through Operations Enduring Peace, Wild Stroke, and the newly established Operation Savannah Shield. He said the operations had enhanced security in Plateau, Benue, Nasarawa, Kwara, Niger, and parts of Kogi states. On the southeast, Shaibu said the security situation had improved considerably, noting that there were no reported disruptions during the last Christmas celebrations. Still to come, U.S. Congressman says Trump administration will closely monitor Nigeria's 2027 elections. Qatar to resume all maritime activities immediately. Stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
The United States administration of President Donald Trump will closely monitor Nigeria's upcoming 2027 general elections, U.S. Congressman Riley Moore has said. Moore, a Republican representing West Virginia, while responding to questions about Nigeria's next general election, described the conduct of the polls as an issue that Washington will be paying very close attention to. He made the remarks in an interview with journalists posted on social media on Sunday. The lawmaker also disclosed that the U.S. House of Representatives was considering an appropriation bill containing provisions relating to Nigeria, particularly on religious freedom and U.S. security assistance. According to him, the proposed legislation contains pretty strong and aggressive language on Nigeria's relationship with the United States. Moore said he would continue engaging the Trump administration on Nigeria-related issues and revealed he was scheduled to meet the U.S. president. Qatar said on Sunday that maritime activities will resume with immediate effect, according to Transport Ministry statement posted on X. This reverses a June 29 advisory that has urged the temporary suspension of sailing and fishing boats until further notice, though commercial shipping was exempted. The ministry on Sunday urged all maritime vessel operators and users to abide by the maritime regulations and instructions in effect to ensure the highest levels of safety and security for all trips. Qatar did not provide the reason behind the June 29 measure, but it came a day after it said one of its nationals had been killed after sustaining injuries from shrapnel due to military operations in the region following the disappearance of his vessel. The Senegalese delegation has reportedly been left stranded in the United States following the cancellation of a special flight arranged to bring the team home after their elimination from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The Teranga Lions exited the tournament after a hard-fought 3-2 defeat to Belgium in the round of 16, ending their World Cup campaign according to reports. Disregardment, Football of Sports and Senegalese Football Federation led to the cancellation of the delegation stranded in the United States, with players, officials facing uncertainty over their travel arrangements. Neither the Ministry of Sports nor the Senegalese Football Federation has issued an official statement explaining the situation, as efforts are expected to continue to resolve the impasse and facilitate the delegation's return to Senegal. That's the wrap on Global News. I am Christopher Lely. Thanks for watching.
Bright and early, as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day, we at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
Wyatt is overrated, and they even overrated reserve and went into CBT. They are insensitive of some Nigerian children who have never had what they call CBT.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change a narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture export. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning, weekdays, and Signature New Day, weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on eVibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Let's pray. Father, Lord, our Heavenly God, we come before you this evening with humility and love, because we are the people who call by your name. And you said that we will be blessed going in and coming in. Father, speak through me so that your people will hear what you intended them to hear. And not only them be a hearer, but also be a doer of the things they will hear, so that they will be blessed by. This is what we ask in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Everybody say amen. We give God glory for today. We are not going to waste any time, but to dive into the scripture. Go with me at Exodus chapter 20, starting from verse 1. Exodus chapter 20, starting from verse 1. I hope everybody is there. If you are not there, follow the screen where our media will help us out, so that you don't have Bible with them will follow. But you are encouraged every time to have your word, your sword with you all the time, either through your electronic or through your conventional Bible. Excuse me. Exodus chapter 20, starting from verse 1. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other God before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord your God, I am a jealous God. It's good to take notes of what we're reading. God said, I am a jealous God. A lot of people use the word jealous in a negative connotation. But you can see here, our Lord is showing you that he is a jealous God, because he loved his children, and he does not want his children to go astray. So he does not want anything that will pull his children away from him. He said he is a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the father upon the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandment. There is something you have to understand of what I just read. For us who are born again Christians today, God does not visit our generations, our third generations, for the sins that their father is committed. I want you to get that. If this mic is not going to behave, I'm going to take up that. But let me see. Don't know why you keep coming down. Many times they will tell you ancestral curse is following you. It should come for this crusade so we can cast it out and broke the bondage. It's all good. But I will tell you, Jesus went to the cross and paid the price and said it is finished. If the sins of my grandfather are going to follow me now, I am not going to be here. My grandfather was a chief priest. If you know, I came from ENUGU. His name, which we dropped, my name is Atama. His name is Abu Atama. I am John Abu, and he is John. He's Abu Atama. Every Atama is the head of shrine. You understand? So, if the sin of my father are going to follow me, I don't think I will be able to be where I am today. So anyone that tells you I'm coming to cast, but you know that you are born again Christian, unless you are a wishy-washy Christian, yo-yo syndrome, you don't know where you are. One day you are going to the Dibia, the next day you are in the church. Agada. Lukewarm. And God say he will spit you out of his mouth. We have to know that this Jesus we serve went to the cross. He went to the cross and surrender himself. Don't forget, we thank God for giving his son. You remember? For giving his son. But let me tell you, his son has to be willing and agree to surrender himself so that he will be crucified. How many people who have disobedient children today, they don't want to even listen to you, let alone agree to? Even, do you know Abraham was counted as the father of faith. He took Isaac when God told him to sacrifice Isaac. Do you know he hid it from Isaac? Isaac did not know. They'll be walking towards Isaac will ask, Father, we have all the firewood and the matches, but we do not have the lamb. And he told him, the Lord will provide. When he was saying the Lord will provide, he is saying it because he knows he's God. If my God that I serve, who gave me this child that I have been looking for 100 years, and telling me to go and sacrifice this, it's on you, though, Lord. These are the kind of people that Christ is looking for. Who will give it all? Who will know that whatever you have is not yours? Can you live a life like that? You shall not take the name of your Lord, your God, in vain. Don't talk anyhow. But before we leave the area of making another image. What is that? What is making another image? Anything that replaces God in your life is an image. Anything that replaces God in your life is an image. And as we read down, he said, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. You, your sons, your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gate. How clear can God get? But this is a caveat also. Because I have said before that everything that God said he would do for us, or he prepared for us, he's no respect of person. The way we relate to God is the thing that changed after we say we are born again, after we follow Christ. The way we relate to God is the thing that changed. We don't sacrifice animal anymore. We believe. He said, I did not come to destroy the law. I came to fulfill it. Whatever law that we're reading here, God aged it up. Sometimes it seems like he's not calling it out, but he elevates it to the high level. Like the Lord said, I and I, but for Christ, he said, turn your cheek. So he takes his own to the high level. This law, where you don't do everything, anything, calls for your honoring, voluntary honoring of God. And he's only one to know it. Because, you know, the Pharisees accused him for healing person on the Sabbath. You understand? So when things are necessary to be done, you have to do it. But always know that Sabbath, Sunday, you honor it to God. Make effort of your own. The reward that you make by yourself. I was driving through presidential, going to government house. I saw that Roban was closed on Sunday. A big giant. Do you know how much money he loses every day that he did not open? It is in millions. But he chose to honor God. That is his own, and his reward is always there. That doesn't mean that if his lamb fall into a ditch on Sunday, he's not going to go and pull it out. Something necessary need to be done. You don't say that because it's Sunday, you're not going to do it. That's why God put the law into our heart. Because he is the judge, not you, not me. So don't get tied down and don't do and you stop doing the necessary thing, something that will honor God, like the priest that was going to church and somebody's bleeding to death, and he was worried about being in the church on time. You see, even that God says that is wrong. So we have to follow accordingly. For in the 6th day, the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Therefore, the Lord blessed the Sabbath day, and hallowed it. Hallowed it. Hallowed it is glorified it. Honor your father and your mother, that your day may be long upon the earth. Honor your father and your mother, that your day may be long, that it will be well with you and your day will be long. Do you see? This is the first commandment that has a promise attached to it. Only commandment among all the 10. Can you understand that? This is the commandment that has a promise. It carries a promise with it. To honor your parent. It's a duty that you cannot neglect it, no matter how you did not like your dad, what the dad did, or what your mother did. Your responsibility, if you're a child of God, so that all the promises that attach to this will be yours. You have to remember your mother. Even when you are married and be in your husband's home, or you marry with your wife and kids, and you think that the responsibility is now mine, my dad can take care of himself. Yes, but always remember to honor them. Call them. Let them know that you are available there for them, whether they need your help or not. It's always good, because this is only promise that has a blessing attached in it. Honor your father and your mother, that your day may be long upon the land which the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet. You shall not covet. I will pause on that one, because covetousness is something that a lot of Christians do not take seriously. They treat it very carelessly. But it is a commandment that we must obey. Covetousness. What does that mean? It means taking things or yearning for those things that your neighbor has that is not yours, but you wish to take it from the person. You want to take it from either by cunning or by trickery. The only thing is that you want to take it from him. Separate covetousness, separate this from that you saw your friend has something and you wish, and I hope I will work hard to get those things. It's different, because you can emulate. That's why we have testimony. When we give testimony here, is for your spirit to stir up so that you can attain those things that was testified. But when your spirit is geared to take things that doesn't belong to you, that becomes a sin. And we should not do that. Now, go with me at Mark 10, 17 to 30. Mark 10, 17 to 30. The media is already ready for us. Jesus, he said, now he was going out on the road. One came running to him. And knelt before him and asked him, good teacher, what shall I do that I may inherit eternal life? Pay attention. Eternal life. What do you understand about eternal life? Everyone will say eternal life is heaven. I will show you. He's not talking about heaven. He's not talking about heaven. This is why you come here. Because you get things that you have not heard before. So, anywhere. But you will find in the Bible that that's what it is. It's just I said, what shall I do to inherit the kingdom of God, the eternal life? So Jesus said to him, why do you call me good? Pay attention. Jesus said, why do you call me good? No one is good but one, that is God. Does anybody dispute that Jesus is God? Is anyone here who doesn't know that Jesus is God? He knows he is God, but he was walking on earth as a man, and he wants people to see him as a man. I told you before that God walked on earth for 33 years only to teach us how we should live. Other than that, the Herod would have gotten him on the manger and he would still be God. But he avoided everything to make sure that he walked on earth and trained all the disciples and the people on those days to show them how you can do as a man. That's why he denied, he didn't show them here that he is God. He said, it is God is the only one. So that that person will see him as a man and not think that he has some divine, which he is divine, but that's not what he wants them to see him as. He wants them to see him as a man. And he said, no one is good but one, and that is God. You know the commandment: do not commit adultery, do not murder, do not steal. Do you see that? You remember I told you here that the 10 commandments is divided into 2. The first 4 is for God. The last 6 is for me and you. Our neighbor. Your neighbor. That's why he started from this, from number 6. He didn't go back to number 1. He started. Don't you see? I'm reading the Bible. I'm not quoting anything. He says, do not commit adultery. Do not murder. Do not steal. do not bear false witness, do not defraud, honor your father and your mother. This is what God reminded him. And he answered, he said, oh. And he said to Christ, teacher, all these things I have done from my youth. Since I was born, I have been doing this. Wow. Then Jesus, looking at him, loved him. He said he loved him. Jesus just saw someone who is doing the things that he wants to come to masses. And he said he loved him. And said to him, one thing that you lack, go your way, sell whatever you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And come, take up your cross and follow me. This is what Christ told him. Sell all your things. He said, this is what you lack. Do you remember in Malachi chapter 3? Christ, it was said, try me if I will not open the gate of heaven and pour you blessings that you will not have a room to receive them. Can you believe that? When you cannot have a room to receive the blessings of God. It's because this is where God wants us to be. And what did the man do? He became sorrowful. Let's keep reading. But he was sad at this word and went away sorrowful, for he had great possession. He has a whole lot of stuff. Why is it that he was doing all those things that is very good, but doesn't give? One will wonder, how did he get all those things? I don't know, but Bible recorded he had great possession. Jesus looked around and said to the disciple, how hard is it for those who had riches to enter the kingdom of God? And the disciples were astonished, because all of them are sticking rich. All the disciples, the John, the James, the sons of Zebedee, these are the fishermen that hires thousands of people working for them. And they were astonished. If people who are rich are not going to heaven, but you know, they have done the same thing that Christ was telling the man. They have left everything and followed Christ. But they misunderstood what Jesus was saying. And he said, and the disciples were astonished at his word. But Jesus answered again, and when he found out what is going on in their heart, he said, children, how hard is it for those who trust in their riches? So he tried to clarify what he meant. When you trust in your riches, you don't give. You hold. And that's what this man was doing. And GWC is committed to teach you and illuminate to you the power embedded in the second commandment, which is loving your neighbor as yourself. God, I have said it here before, God is looking for people who have the heart to release what he has given to them. So, how is that done? If you have 2 million naira and you are working to make 10 million naira, when you have 2 million naira, you are giving 10 naira when you come to church, or 100 naira when you come to church, or 2,000 when you come to church. Excuse me. And all of a sudden, something happened. God opened some doors, and all of a sudden you find yourself in 10,000. Do you come back in the church and start giving 10 naira or 2,000 or 3,000? If you do that, then you are not going to grow. God will not add more. God wants people who will let go. It doesn't mean that you have to let go inside the church. Yes, it's good to support your church, but giving is what you help your aunt, your nieces, your grand uncles who are less to do. You help them out when you feel that they are in a bind. You reach out and help them. What you know is that by the time that problem comes to you, God has already provided. That's why I don't miss the opportunity. I was driving yesterday, trying to make a U-turn when we are going for evangelism. Me and you and all the pastors. We went at the cell phone area where they fixed cell phone. We walked it all the way. Right, Pastor? And we were doing the work of God. But when I was making a U-turn, I'm waiting for other cars to park. So a lady come and be knocking on my window. You know, I couldn't just leave. So I wind down, say, please help me out. I need transportation. Okay, I don't really care whether she's faking or not faking. The thing is that at that moment, I am the one making a U-turn. And at that moment, this woman was there. And at that moment, Spirit spoke to him to come and ask me something. Never you miss opportunity like that. Never you miss opportunity like that. Never. Because at the time somebody is knocking on your car door or anywhere, there is money in your pocket. God knows that he already put something in there. So I just reached out. Whatever came out from my pocket, I handed it. I don't know how much is it. It doesn't matter. This lesson going to have part 2 because I can see that I'm not going for too far on it, you know. So they said to him, who else going to enter in the kingdom? We know that we are very rich.